Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaedblade Plays. Now, if you haven't done so already, please go over there and click the subscribe button. Helps the channel out, and it means you get updated on all the new stuff that I'm doing, like this right here. Welcome to our automatic kiln system. Okay, oh no. Oh no, something's happened. Something's broke. There we go. Okay, so let me fix that. There we go. Alright, anyway. So this is our automatic kiln. What you can see here is you shove... Oh, there's no more left. Let me go grab some real quick. What we got here? Grab 10. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to just fill this up with 10. And that should do us. Just to make sure. Yeah, that's going fine. Alright. So the way this is set up is... once the system resets... There we go. It will place, the block dispenser will place one of those unfired urns there. It'll basically cook up. When it's finished, this piston will push into this block here and push out the thing there, and should push it into here, like so. And then as soon as it pops back, another one will take its place. And so it'll basically just keep going along and along. Now, what you can also do is you can plop this boy right there, and after a certain amount of time, usually once one's made, it pushes them out. Now this is good for making an automatic system. So right below this kiln, we can have a bottling system. We might not want to, because obviously this is an automatic kiln. This will cook anything. It'll cook planters, it'll cook everything. So it doesn't matter what you put in there, it's going to... Yeah, let's just pop that for now. It's going to basically cook it and pop it inside. Now, you probably don't want it doing an automatic thing unless you have it hooked up to something. So I envision with this product, if you want to turn down the music... Okay, so I envision with this project that if you want to have, let's say, an automatic system, then you would put, probably this would pump out to a filtering system that would filter out what type of item it is. I don't know if they filter that way. They should, but I'm not sure. So it would basically filter out which item it is, and then it would take those items and it would sort them out. So it would probably send the urns one direction and then the other things another direction. And then you can send them to the automatic bottler, which we will do next time, and not this time. So this time we are basically just creating an automatic kiln. So again, this will work with any pottery at all. If I would have put some of the other pottery in here, it would work with that as well. Now just note that the way the block dispenser works, if you come over here and I fill this thing up with different blocks, each time it will fill up with something different. So if, I won't reset the system now. So if I let this cook, what'll happen is it will push out the next item. So I'll just let this hurry up and cook. Alright, it's cooked, and now you can see it's put out the next thing in its system. So the next thing was a crucible, and then it'll pop that out. So it'll keep doing this each time. Once this one's done, it'll pop out the next thing. So just know that if there's more than one type in the block dispenser, it will basically go over, across, and down. So it'll go all the way across each line until it gets back to the urns. So if you are doing anything other than urns, just note that it will do each one in its own turn. So it won't just pump out all the urns first, and then all the planters next, and then all the crucibles last. Okay, so just know that. And there we go, and there's the pottery. So yeah, I'll let this cook away. Let me just grab these for now. Oh, there's only two. I'll come back to that later, I guess. Anyway, so this is the system that we're going to build today. So here it is, and it's all in beauty. And in a little second, we are going to go over there, and we're going to create one. So wait, and here we go. Alright, so we saw over there what we were going to build, and this is the basic size of the area that we need. So we needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need a 5 by 6 area. The 5 area is the place where you'll be having it facing. Okay, like so. So we need to create a kiln first. Now a kiln in its basic form only needs to have 4 blocks, and that could also be this way. This is a kiln. This is a kiln. This is also a kiln. So it only needs to have 4 block facings and 1 empty, only 4, and it can have 2 empty spaces. It can have an empty space on top and an empty space on the bottom. Now if I went like this, this would still function. This would still work. But the bare minimum is 4 blocks to equal a kiln. But we're going to do it this way because this is the best way to do it in my opinion, because I want to be able to place blocks and then push blocks out. We'll push whatever is finished out. So we're opening up this area here mainly for our hibachi's fire. So we're going to do a 3x2 system for the hibachis. And if you do more than 3x2, you're going to have to alter the block dispenser timer because it's based on 6 total, not 9. If you do 9, it'll be much quicker, and you basically will need to take a few out and retweak the timings. So I haven't done this based on 9, I've done this based on 6. Right, I'm going to fill these in anyway just because they look nice. You don't have to. Again, you can also fill these in with a different block if you don't have a lot, although at this stage of the game, now that we're working with block dispensers, you probably will. Boom. Look how nice that looks. Ooh, I like those columns. Really nice. Anyway, so you could choose what you want to look here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the crucible. This is going to be where all of our blocks, or all of our fired pottery will go. You can use anything you want here except for a hopper. And the reason being is that fire will come and catch this thing. All right, these hibachis are too close to have anything wooden near them. If you put one right here, it'll catch fire. There is an alternate way to do this, and that is by allowing water to pass through, and I've done one of those. I think that one over there was the original design with water in mind, and instead I decided to go with a piston look just because it seemed to be a little more what I was looking for. Yeah, so we have the output here, and now we're going to put our block dispenser over here. So I will place one of those, and let's break you. Oh, I didn't have to break him. Alright, so we'll put our block dispenser there facing this direction, as you can see, right? Now this block here is going to be a piston. Hello, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Go away. Alright, so there's our piston, which is going to... What in the world? How are these guys even here? These are all half blocks. Anyway, so this is going to push that over and push out the cooked pottery, and then pull back and allow the block dispenser to add another bit. Now, we've finished that. We are going to have to power these, turn them on. And to do that, I'm just going to put levers here. You can use torches as well. I prefer levers just because I can flick them on and off. And then we're just going to take this across like so. So you're going to go 2 this way, 2 that way, and then we're going to place some blocks up like this. Now on top of here, we want to be able to put stuff into our block dispenser. So if we place, one of these here, one of these hoppers here, we'll be able to do so. Now you might be thinking, this is going to burn, and yes, it will. It will burn. There is one thing we can do to keep it from burning. That. Every side of this is covered, right, except for the top. However, a torch is considered a block, and therefore it'll stop any fire from being able to surface on top. So this is blocking this from being able to catch fire, as well as each side of the hopper is covered. So there's no way that fire can actually catch, because technically the fire is a block either next to it or on top of it or below it. So as long as every side of this is covered with some sort of block, like this, it can never catch fire. So that means we can use this to dump all of our unfired clay into, basically setting it up underneath that. The other way you could do that is through water. So if you had water flowing in here, and this is where the items would drop in, you can do that as well. So water will work, and of course, since there's a block slash water slash block, I don't know why I'm using air quotes, on top of this, it will not catch fire. All right. So we have all this part set up, and that's basically it for the kiln section. Now we need to go and get the timer started. So with the timer, we're going to use a block dispenser, and let me put all this stuff back up in here. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I've got really bad indigestion. Anyway, so I did have the water here just to show you that you could do it with water, but I'm not going to show you just now. Anyway, so we're going to use our block dispenser as the timer. I'm going to grab our redstone torches. Now, the thing that we need to do is we need to time it so that we're going to... Oh, that's right. Hold on. We forgot one last important thing. Just below our block dispenser, we need to have it always powered so that it's constantly pushing blocks out, not sucking them in. Otherwise, the second you turn it off, the block gets sucked in. Okay, so that is right behind here. So on the other side of this block is the torch. So we're going to place redstone there, redstone here, another block here, a torch here, torch there, and then redstone here. Now the reason why we're using 2 torches rather than just turning it on is that each torch slows down the pulse. If I didn't have this here, this piston would begin pushing blocks in this direction, and I'll show you how that'll look right now. We'll do it later. I'll do it once I have this all set up because I'm not actually firing these things yet. So anyway, this is to turn on the piston. This here is to ensure that that block dispenser gets turned off for a very short time. So the only reason why we're turning it off is so that we could turn it on again. So we're basically resetting it to be able to push out another piece of pottery to do. Right, so inside here we need to go through 4 non-conductive blocks. So it could be, I use half slabs just to show, but you could use full blocks here. They don't matter because what we're going to do is we're going to stick a torch in here. We're going to put a little bit of redstone right there. And then below here, we're going to create our... Man, these guys are annoying. We're going to create our timer. Our timer is going to be run off two redstone torches. And then we're going to tick this over 1. And that's the speed at which it's going to do. So these will spin around. They'll turn this on, which will pop one out. And then after it's popped off, it'll suck it back in. And it'll basically pop out, pop in, pop out. Kind of like our other timer over there. So this is very similar to our previous timer. Actually, is it the same? 4 and 1? Or is the other one 5? I think this one's 5. Our automatic creator over here. Yeah, those are 5 and 5. Okay. So almost the same. One off, right? Okay, so we have 4 with a redstone torch. And now we have our power going in. Oops. Okay. Oh, no, it needs to be facing this way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so there we have that, and we're going to extend this out 3. Now, whatever power source you're using, use that. I am using a water wheel only because it's available to me to use. That is it. No other reason than that it's here and available for me to use. I'll take one of those. There we go. Okay. And then I'll just put the water down, like so. And put you up, and then put you out here like this. Oh, I got one more to go. There we go. Awesome. So it doesn't matter if you use this or not. You can hook that up to whatever power source you have. Obviously, if you're going to have these 2 stacked, so you're going to have the urn creator up there, which flows into this one, and then that one flows into something else, then your power is going to be down low or up high. You're just going to scoot the power down or up, depending on how your system is. You obviously won't put a water wheel for every single thing. All right, so this thing's going now. Oh, shoot, you know what we forgot? Redstone right there. And there. Don't forget that. Okay, now because we've placed redstone here, you cannot place a block here. Alright, you place a block there and it messes things up. Alright, seems like it's working just fine. Alright, good. So, now the thing is, we need to break this block, and we need to place a bellows. right there. That bellows is going to stoke those 6. It can stoke up to 9, but it's going to stoke 6 here. Right, so we're going to... Let's go this direction, maybe? Yeah, I'll go this direction. There we go. Very minimal amount of power here, because these are all expensive. So we basically have 3 that we're using. So this is turning it on. However, we need to create a pattern. If you're familiar with Better Than Wolves, you'll know, but if you're not, we need to create a pattern here. And so what this is going to do is, the reason why we chose one after the other, this is the exact type of... oh shoot, we're not low enough. Oh, are we low enough? Yes, okay, so that works. So what it's doing is it's counting through, it's making this bellows below every so often. If you leave it powered, it'll stay down. So with the bellows, you have to power it and then unpower it. Power it and then unpower it in a very specific interval. If you don't have it just right, then it will not blow air. And you have to have it blow frequently enough in order for the flames to remain stoked. If you don't have them being used frequently enough for the flames to remain stoked, then it'll never cook the pottery. So by using a setting of 2 on the turntable and having 2 redstone torches one after the other, it creates a signal that is just the right length to allow it to stoke these 6. There we go. And so once they get stoked, you see they turn this blue color. And technically they put fire up here if it's empty. Alright, so we have basically everything in place right now that we need. We have this machine which is going and turning everything on and off. We have everything we need for the very basic form of this pottery, automatic kiln. Pottery cooker, automatic kiln. I think it's automatic kiln. We'll call it automatic kiln. So now I'm going to stick these in there. It'll plop one out. You see that? It pulled it out and another one stuck out. This will cook just like the other one. Now let's see if it works right. Did we get the timings right? Pop, please. Shoot. Oh, there we go. Okay, it pops. Piston. There we go. Now, don't worry if this gets stuck here like this, because each time the pottery gets cooked, it randomly falls in a certain area, and then the previous one connects to it. So even if it doesn't spill out this time, it will the next time or a subsequent time. So hopefully, there we go. See, that time they went together and they stuck in there. So that'll work. Now, if you use water, it will always work because the water physically pushes the items down this direction. I prefer using a crucible because I can then later have it dump it when I want to. Maybe have some kind of timer that dumps it once a day. Speaking of which, I do have a timer over there, and it's basically a timer that tells you when it's nighttime. So when it's nighttime, it sends a signal, and you can vice versa. When it's daytime, it can send a signal. So that's good to know. What's that good for? Egg collection. Right? When it's daytime, your chickens are all plopping eggs away. Well, now you have a timer over there that can handle that and then feed all the chickens after they've eaten. So I'll show you how to do that in another tutorial when we talk about automatic chickens. Yes, automatic chicken and egg cooker. We're not going to do that now, though. Right now, we have our kiln system. All right, guys, if you want to make this more automated, so that this thing here will dump every so often, so whatever you've cooked in here will be dumped out occasionally. Again, this is if you don't want to use a water source, and if you wanted to make it automatic anyway. Of course, that's the plan, right? So what you'll do is you'll come over here. So what I've done is I've added a block here, and that stops this pulse from messing with this system here. I've added an extra redstone repeater here, and that's mainly so that it can be separated from this signal and that signal. As soon as one comes out, so every time it creates, or every time it's going to place a new urn, this signal will come through here. It'll turn this off, which is currently disabling the gearbox here, which we've powered through the system. And then once we have the piston go, this is going to empty. So it'll just empty its contents out. And that means you don't need to have water. You could make this system with water, and instead of a push configuration, where this guy is pushing the block that direction, you'll move this either back here or further out by 1, and you'll be pulling this block and allowing water to flow through. So that's another way you can do it. And if you want, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a separate tutorial on how to do that version. But right now, as it is, this is perfect and easy to use, and is configurable to basically make a massive automatic factory out of this thing. Oops, that's not where I should put it. I want it right there. And by going and covering this up like that, we can guarantee that this will fall in here when it spews. And what we're going to do is we're going to have it set up for a little while, and we're going to see what happens. So let me go get some more of that pottery, which should have finished by now. And I'll stick it in here, and we will see this guy in action. Be right back. Alright guys, I've got the system up and working now. So we have a bunch of soul urns in here. And once that pushes, that thing pops out. Now, you don't have to have it set up this way. You can create a different timer if you want. You can have it so that it sets off with the daylight, or you could put a block dispenser here that randomly sends a signal to turn this thing off. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. I have it set up this way just so that I can have a way of it pushing down without having to have water. Water tends to be the thing that that you can use as well. You don't have to if you don't want to, because that means for some of you have to pump water up to the top of here. For me, however, because that's going to be on top, as you saw in my world, this is going to be below it. So I could very well take some of that water from the stream that's above and push it down here. Now, what I'll probably end up doing is having right around here in my Let's Play world is where I'll have the next tutorial that we'll be doing. So make sure you subscribe right down there. No, right down there. I get it wrong every time. Right down there. Make sure you subscribe so you know when I post it. It may help you out in your Better Than Wolves world. So once you get that automation, guys, I'm telling you, from start to finish, look at this. We've got a cobblestone generator, we've got a unfired pottery maker, and then we've got a kiln. And this kiln works with all the various types of pottery. It doesn't just have to be an urn. It could be any type, as you saw earlier. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit the like button if you liked. Sub, obviously sub if you loved it and want to hear more about it and want to see more. Okay, there's lots more to come. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Let me know. Maybe you have a better system. Maybe you can make this more compact. And also let me know in the comments below if you want to see a water version of this and how I would put one together. Because again, a water version would be slightly different. I did create another one that was a water version. And that water version would have water flow down into here to push them out rather than using this. And of course it gets rid of this entire side right here because you're just having water flow down. And of course if you have water flow down, you can have it set it in any direction as well. So there's pros and cons to both. Anyway guys, I hope you liked and enjoyed. See you next time. Cheers.